Dave Reeves, Managing Director, Calidus Resources. We have just commissioned the 90,000 ounce per annum Warrawoona Gold Project and on the cusp of our first gold pour. We're in the Pilbara of Western Australia and we're actively exploring for more gold and lithium.
Dave, good to see you, and thanks for the catch-up. So you put out the quarterlies. Wanted to kind of run through that. Obviously, you want the world to know about that, but I'm kind of interested in as to, one, you talk about imminent gold pouring, two, lithium, and I'm kind of interested in the what next bit, okay? That's what I want to talk to you about. Well, go on then. Give us the quarterly updates. I've seen some quite impressive numbers in there. Has it all gone according to plan?
Yeah, look, it has in general. So I think the main thing from the quarterly was saying we've commenced commissioning the plant, i.e. putting ore into the mill. Pretty well spent all our money now. We're 98%, complete. So a little bit to spend, just punch lists and tidying up. But we have a working gold plant. We've got a crusher, we've got a mill turning, we're pumping out tailings. We're building our gold in circuit, be it on carbon or gravity gold, and getting ready for that first gold pour. So, it's been challenging at times, but
why?
The team on site.
What's going on there? Are we still talking COVID? Are we talking inflationary? Supply chain? What's going on?
Labour is incredibly tight in Western Australia at the moment. If you read any of the quarterlies coming out, there's huge amounts of pressure with labour. Throwing COVID on top of that, because we're quite behind the world in actually having COVID here now, so we're getting a lot of people going down. We've got 10 to 15% of our workforce out at any one time, and that just exacerbates what is already a very tight situation. So fewer people doing more work to get the job done.
Are you on site? So where are you at the moment? There's a bit of noise in the back, rattling around.
Sorry, that's probably outside. Friday afternoon. I think
it's beer o'clock. Okay, I get the message. I
think they're gathering for a beer.
Okay,
anyway,
which case
up at site again next week.
Okay, well let's kind of speed through this. Okay, so So when can we see this? When do we expect the gold pour? Within the next few weeks, end of May, that sort of thing.
We've always said before the middle of May. So
middle of May.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
So that's good news. And just remind me about the ramp up period for that, because I'm kind of interested in what you do with the cash, because you've been quite creative with the facilities that you've put in place in terms of having cash available to do what you want. And I just wondered what the inclination was now in this current environment about continuing with those facilities or trying to get rid of them, and what you do with the cash when you produce it. So what's the ramp up look like?
Yeah, so look, we've got $110 million of debt, so we've got to pay that off. We've got a feasibility coming out for Blue Spec, which is the high grade underground we want to develop to expand to 130,000 ounces per annum. That's coming out in June. We'll be going in for permitting, so we'll be building cash to begin the development of that early next year. And we've obviously got exploration to fund along the way. So there's many uses for the cash. The first thing we've got to do is get that operation humming. We are in ramp-up phase. That'll be the rest of this quarter. But next quarter we should be at full noise.
And what are you expecting that to look like? Because I'm so intrigued about how companies are adapting and adjusting to the current climate, right? Because your options, you've got a lot on your plate, and we're going to talk about some of those things in a second. But with regards to how you treat the debt component, do you want it off the books? Do you want to have or maintain a big cash reserve? And if so, what does that kind of cash profile look like from the production? Once you're up and running over the next 12 months, say.
So we've got an agreed repayment schedule with the bank. At the moment, the gold price is well in excess of the modelling that was done at that time. So there's a thing called a cash sweep. So we keep any excess cash, we keep 70%, they take 30%, so the debt gets reduced quicker. I'm never a huge fan of debt. It's got its uses to reduce dilution at the front. But certainly I wouldn't be adverse to seeing that disappear over the next couple of years. But at the same time, we need cash to continue to grow and explore.
Exactly, but you do have the option now, because your profile pre-production looks, is one thing, and then once you get into production is another. Do you refinance this out? I mean, that's what I'm sort of intrigued as to how you adjust.
Look, at the moment, we wouldn't be looking to refinance until we're really at steady state. There's a lot of work involved to refinance these facilities. We're very happy with the financiers we've got and how accommodating they've been. And we do believe we've got good interest rates, and to go and try and refinance now in a rising interest rate environment is probably not the most sensible.
Right, good. Okay, we cover that off. I think it's important. Okay, so with regards to obviously all hands to the pump, you're focused on getting into production. That's a kind of big moment for the company. We talked last time, and sorry. So congrats on that. But we talked last time about you looking forward, and that was obviously this lithium play with a 50-50 joint venture with a private company. Is it Pirra? Is that the name of it? I've forgotten.
Pirra's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've done my homework almost. So with Pirra, what more do you know since we last spoke? I mean, because it was only sort of early March. I mean, how's that thing moving forward?
Yeah, so I can't remember when we last spoke whether we'd announced that we'd come across lithium pegmatites or not.
Yeah, you did. You just.
Yeah, okay. So we've had geos out in the field since then. We're pretty excited by what we're seeing out there with the rocks. It looks like it could be quite a fertile part of the world for lithium pegmatites. And really, until we announce things publicly, I can't say any more than what's out there in the public domain. But we like what we're seeing.
Well, you were brave enough to use the word significant in the quarterly. Significant lithium prospect identified. Yeah. On what grounds can you use that word?
You'd have to be seeing a significant amount of lithium outcropping on the surface. So, look, we do like what we're seeing. We also said we'll be drilling this quarter out there. We've got heritage surveys coming up in the next week. We should be getting our permissions from the Department of Mines to drill. So all being equal, we should be drilling out there late May. And we'll be able to give a full update at that point. But, that's exciting. First drill holes ever in this area.
Right. Okay. And you'd allocate $5 million between you on that. Again, given market, given commodity prices, do your plans change, or is that kind of restricted by permits available?
Look, if you see something you like and the market likes it, there's always money to accelerate things.
Okay.
And at the moment, our budget is actually only $1 million up front to start with, which does this first round of drilling. And at that point, the partners have to sit down to work out what do we do. So let's do that first drill. Let's see what it is. And unfortunately, have this discussion. Once we've done that, Matt, and we'll be able to give you a lot more insight into our thinking at that point.
Okay, fine. And then like I say, well done getting to production. You showed that you can build, you can produce, you get a big tick for that. But the market's always looking for growth. What next? So the lithium's going to give you something. You've started a process there. It's a different commodity. It's a different project, and presumably going to be a different vehicle at some point, maybe. Or are you going to...
Potentially, it's been set up for that as a separate company. Okay. That's easy to separate out an IPO.
Right. So what do you do here sitting in Calidus in terms of M&A? We've talked in the past about growth. We've talked in the past about market conditions. There'll be companies at the moment perhaps cash constrained. There'll be others which are way overpriced. You're going to have to... Well, are you considering that still?
So we obviously have our own internal growth with that stage 2 to 130,000 ounces. So that's organic growth, if you like. And then, certainly on the M&A, I think we have proven our development credentials now. We're not afraid to develop. We think we're quite good at it. So we are actively looking. And the market is a relentless beast and is always asking what is next. We are looking. We don't want to be a single asset mine. We've said that since day dot. And certainly by the end of the year, we would like to have transacted, be it on a resource that we need to do more work and drill and feasibility, or be it an active mining company or near-term development play. All of those are available, but we just need to take our time, bed this first stage down. And once we're certain of that and we've got good cash flow, everything becomes a lot easier. You get more value in your share price. easier to transact, etc.
Right. So you're kind of focused, obviously, flagship project, great. Blue Spec going from 90,000 to 130,000. That's the next most important component for you and delivering that. But M&A is still on the table, but you don't want to overpay. I get all of the above. Where's this thing go to? I mean, what's your hope here? Is it like be a cash machine? Are you producing cash? Or is this you setting yourselves up for a takeover target? Or how are you looking at those things?
It's all about cash at the end of the day. You shouldn't be mining or doing any business if you're not making cash. So first and foremost is cash, because with that cash comes opportunities, be it to take over others or others to come looking at you, or gives you opportunities to join up with others. There's a whole range of things, but the fundamental of it all is you got to produce cash. And there are a lot of companies in Australia at the moment, listed gold companies, that aren't producing cash. They're mining, but they're actually not adding to their cash. So, we want to be different from that. You can count on one hand how many are actually producing cash.
Yeah, it's surprising. There's creating value, and then there's making money. It's surprising to me quite often how people kind of forget those two things aren't the same thing necessarily. So I guess plans looking forward this year. What are you going to be pointing me towards? I guess gold pour imminently, but what after that?
Lithium drilling kicking off. We'll have our next drill campaign for gold kicking off. We'll have the Blue Spec feasibility coming out and what exactly that looks like. We should have some exploration results from last year's drilling coming out soon. We have found another lab elsewhere in Australia that will turn them around in 3 weeks, not 4 or 5 months. So our next samples will go there. So there's that coming up. And we'll see how we go with looking at what's next for Calidus on a bigger picture as well in the rest of the year. So there's not a lot left of the rest of the year. We've only got 8 months to go, or not even 7 months to go. 8. Do my maths.
Is someone else negotiating the hedging? I just want to.
Yes, we've got a CFO who's a lot better at numbers than me.
Right. Can you do me a favour? Sorry, this is a little bit childish, but boys' toys always impress a lot of the audience here in terms of how this thing's built out. I sort of remember the image on the ground of when we first started talking. And can you kind of share a screen and see what's happening? Oh, there we go. There we go. In fact, this is live because I can see a car moving.
Yeah, this is live. So hopefully, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's zoom in a bit. And you can see the mining up here. There's some of our 100-ton dump trucks moving around to diggers.
Yeah, they are.
Up here, there's a loader moving up on the ROM, feeding the crusher. So it's picking up, dropping back to here. There's crusher stockpile. The mill, probably not good enough, but that is turning in there. These are the tanks where all the gold's dissolved. So power station where the cursor is. So, it's a proper mine site. It's inclement weather. It's meant to be blue skies and 35 degrees in Marble Bar. And we've got this big tropical low that's been draining misty rain across for 24 hours. And it's dropped to freezing sort of like 23, 24. And everyone's very unhappy at the chill that's settled into Marble Bar, which is...
Right. I mean this is in the most respectful way. Stop whinging about 23 degrees. We would love that here. And there's no camp because you're near town, aren't you, as well?
No, there is a camp.
Is there?
It's over sort of this side
right.
of this range of hills. There's a 240-person camp there.
Oh, right. Okay, so I missed that.
That's pretty well full at the moment. It's slowly emptying out as the construction people leave. But I might also show you this other one very quickly. Hopefully this is a bit closer. This isn't live. This is what it looks like. Crusher crushing, goes to emergency stockpile, comes out of there. That's a lime silo. You add lime to control your pH. The rock comes up this conveyor and goes into our SAG mill there. Gets ground up to sort of sand and then gets pumped off through our gravity circuit and then into our CIL tanks where we leach out the gold. And this area here is our gold room. So that's where I'll be in the next before the middle of May, and hopefully holding up. That.
Well, that's what I want to see. I want to see lumps of gold. Look, Dave, congrats on getting this done. You've always done what you said you were going to do. Mining's tough, so kind of hit deadlines is also a good thing indeed. We'll see when you've got some gold in your hand, and hopefully the lithium project has advanced enough that you can actually start talking about some of the decisions that you've made or are going to make on that. Okay. See you soon.
Good on you. Thank you, Matthew.